What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. I did not cover the trip to Tim Hortons, but I have to say, the past couple days, sadness sandwich, pouting pondu, crying calzones. How much does someone really need to center their life around food? Because we know for a fact Taco Bell, Chinese, Papa John's, and now pasta. Of course, she leads with Hameo, and I'm just going to come out and say it. This is one of the least appealing meals ever. I mean, this honestly looks like noodles in dirt with pieces of bread that a cat urinated on. And I know a lot of people talk about her healthy eating, her cooking meals, but to be honest with you, if this is the home cooking, I can see why she's eating out all the time. But I think for me, beyond eating out, it's the portions, right? Look at the size of this bowl. You're not just going to go to a restaurant and be given this massive portion. And in addition to that, she's got peppers, she's got the bread, she's got apparently a desire for Brussels sprouts she didn't make. And she wants to tie this all in a bow with, my mother made this meal when we were struggling. I mean, I've had people in my life that struggled. Okay, they've never went back to those same habits that they had when they were struggling. But Chantal just, embraces it. This meal is apparently all processed foods. And she uses the bread to make what has to be a carb sandwich while saying how tired she is. And then, of course, transitions into a health video, shows her blood sugar, claims she weighs 330 pounds, her blood sugar's in the mid eights. The issue with all of that is this isn't a healthy meal. No matter how healthy you are, this is pure carbs and fat. And she's proven that she has no idea how to begin to portion or restrict herself. I mean, at this point, truthfully, you're watching someone film themselves struggle with food and being in total denial about what's going on in their life and with their body. She talks about how she can't deprive herself. And to me, when she says that, she goes, if I do, it's going to make things worse. And she brought up the point yesterday that, she didn't want to have a life. She couldn't envision a life without Taco Bell. She brings up all the time, if I had to just eat chicken and vegetables, I would be miserable. But she refuses, when she does eat things, to find this kind of balance of portions that are realistic and foods that she should be eating. And she constantly stays, as she likes to say, in between diets. Her diagnosis with the diabetes, all the issues, it doesn't require a diet. I'm sorry. It requires a lifestyle change, a total lifestyle change. And when you're sitting here and you're using your medicine and your illness to create this victory that you've had, right? I've lost weight. All it's doing is compounding things because it's essentially in her mind giving her, free reign. She's got the green light to eat this way. I mean, she practically flaunts it, right? She comes online, she says, hey, I have to eat to make this money, and then I'm going to use that and anything else I can to justify not changing. She herself says, oh, the weight loss shocked me. More so because I had the Chinese food. I had the brownies. We got Papa John's stuffed crust. We got fries. But to her, as long as she's taking her medicine, as long as she's using her insulin, everything is going to be just fine. The medicine and the insulin are only going to do the heavy lifting for so long. She is going to have to put in the work and the commitment, and she's going to get herself to a point where she's not going to have a choice. A doctor's going to look at her and say, okay, I've prescribed you all these things. You've actively harmed yourself in this entire process, and your options are either leaving our country or going into inpatient. And I think when she talks about leaving, that's why so many people use this narrative of the country doesn't want her there. She isn't providing anything to Kuwait. Okay, she is a visitor. She's not doing anything other than being a burden on their system. And she's taking it away. And I don't just mean the medication. I mean the doctors, the time. She's taking it away from people that likely do want to change. Think about all the people there that are sick, right, that want to actually improve the condition of their life, that are willing to put in the hard work, that just need guidance and resources to improve themselves. They don't have it. Yet here is Chantal taking up that time, that resource, and putting no energy into herself. I mean, it has to be frustrating for those doctors that she rotates around to hear stories that we, as, just people who watch her, are exhausted of hearing. Taking your insulin and then eating brownies and Papa John's is ridiculous. For a child, for an adult, it doesn't matter. I would actually offer, if you reverse the roles, and Chantal was truly a child again, right? And she's on all these medicines, and she's on this insulin, and she had a parent that was doing all of those things, right? But bringing her, stuffed crust pizza and Taco Bell and making her brownies. That at some point the child would be at risk to be taken. But, as a 40-year-old adult that she likes to proclaim, she's making all these choices. Because this is all her content is. Talking about being sick, discussing how she can't handle any restrictions with her diet, using the heat as an excuse to not go out and get takeout, order what she wants. Even tonight, if you watch this video, right? She literally sits there. Yeah, it's pasta, but it has beef. Beef has protein, so that's okay. I mean, if you're going to think that way, you can justify almost anything. You can eat whatever you want, and as long as, there's some protein with the meal, then that's A-okay. She says that, she needs a mix of foods. So that's why it's okay for her to have 2 brownies, because understand, before she would have had the whole tray. She only had 2 slices of Papa John's, not the whole pizza. And, all these little changes that are making this, drastic change, this massive impact. Chantal, if you look, whether it's reaction channels, whether it's Beezers, whether it's just people that comment that never make a minute worth of content, overwhelmingly, the response to you is that you have to get your diet in order. Even if you look at people that really focus on their health, they'll tell you that, you can't outwork a bad diet. But you're sitting here telling everyone else that you know better, that you have proof that this is working. Here's what I would tell you completely and honestly. If you're losing all this weight, if you see, the scale going down and down and down, and you even to your own admission know that there's no reason or exact science as to why this is happening based on how much you're eating, which tells us a lot, right? You know that you're consuming normally, which is probably in the neighborhood of 4, 5, 6, 7,000 calories a day. And now all of a sudden you're seeing weight loss that you don't know how to understand or compute other than just showing your scale and saying, look, guys, this is working. I would be running back to a doctor and I would be saying, listen, you've got to run some tests here because I have weight loss that I don't understand. And in the 40 plus years I've lived, and more importantly, the last 3 years that I've been following the same exact diet, this has never happened. So I need you to run every test on every organ that you can, because I'm concerned that I'm losing weight because something else is going wrong. And while I love to be able to sit here, take down mountains of food and tell my haters everything's A-okay, I'm also really concerned that I have a larger issue that's developing that maybe I'm not going to be able to just take a pill or poke myself to fix. But instead you went to Tim Hortons. Gonna leave you guys with the top comments from the last video. Appreciate you watching this one. And just like Chantal grabbing Salah's phone to get that takeout order put in, there is no way I will not be back as soon as I can with more commentary.
Your punishment is embarrassment and shame.